Hello, here is Brooksby and Jax's video. I apologize on the delay. Jax made some big steps in regards to his training skills, which is so exciting, or at least his tolerance skills. So I set up a little mini course for him, and at first he was like, "You're crazy. I'm not doing this. What are we doing?" But after I get him to go around it a couple times, so this is the first interaction with the equipment, you'll see by the end, he's like, "This is old ham. I have this. I love this. Look how good I do." Brooksby, when I bring him in here in a little bit, you'll see it was just like a goofball of like, "Let's play." And Jax is like, "No, I'm going to go on my teeter-totter. I'm going to go over this thing." Like, he knew his job and he liked his job. The dynamic between the two of them is just, they're such goofballs. But working on this helped build up his confidence, giving him an outlet to do. He definitely needs a job that helps him focus on something besides the general like low level of anxiety that's running through his system. And you can see as we do this, his tail goes up, he starts wagging it. Like, you can see his body language like kind of bloom a little bit. And then when we ask something that pushes his boundaries, he kind of sucks back in on himself. So what I did for today, especially for our longer duration of period, was like we got to play on, sorry. We refixed that, got him back up out there. But the idea is that we did some tolerance building, and then we got to play on the agility equipment. We did some tolerance building, and we got to play with our brother. We did some tolerance building, and then we got to do the agility again, intermixed with some rest time in his pen, so that way he isn't just stressed out for a period of like an hour or 2 hours. It's more of, hey, there's things that I get to do that I enjoy, but at the same time, I also have to balance it with some tolerance. Now, this is where I first brought Brooksby in, and you can see he's just like, I'm going to check everything out. I'm going to be a goofball. I did work on his listening skills. We also did a little bit of yard work with other dogs with Brooksby. I didn't film that, and I apologize. I didn't move my phone and the tripod setup in time to get it. He's tolerating it. He's still not 100% with other dogs, especially when they're off leash. But his tolerance while being on leash and walking near dogs or seeing dogs walk past him has been much, much, much better. Now, Jax, you asked me yesterday if he has any reactions while at our facility, and to be honest, I haven't seen a ton. The only time that he's gotten a little persnickety with me is when he's in one of the kennels in the training room and I'm training a dog in there. And that's one of the things that I do to kind of help build tolerance is, hey, I can see another dog work, but I'm in a safe space. And if the dog got too close to his safe space, that's when he'd kind of like bark or snap. And that's where it's, we don't have to worry about it, just subtle. So it's definitely kind of hitting, I think I've drawn the picture for you before, but it's kind of like a circle that goes inwards like a spiral. The more that we hit all these different points around the circle to get to the core behavior in the middle, that's what we're working on. Now, Brooksby was all about getting some love, and right now I have Jax tethered to me, so he has to be near me. He has to kind of just deal with my body proximity. And Brooksby here, we did some commands, we did some sits, some pause, some leave it's and fun stuff like that. But we also just did a little bit of snuggling time. And I kept offering the same things to Jax, but Jax is like, nah, I'm just gonna stand here. But I go back and forth between, I have his brother in with us and we do exercise like this, and then I don't have his brother with us and it's just him and I, to counterbalance the associated learning, but also the individual learning too. Now, I didn't want to forget about the comment you made about brooms and sweepers and mops and stuff like that. So I grabbed one of our mops and was messing with Brooksby on this. He did really well. Now, I asked him to place a couple times, and then I actively asked him to like walk with me as I did it, and just used leave it. So he couldn't go after it, but he could walk with me. So it's different things that you can try to get that, very hurting behavior of, oh, I'm going to attack the thing that's moving, into, okay, I can see it, I can watch it, I don't have to eat it. So every time he goes after it, I ask him for a leave it and a sit or a leave it and just keep going. And he's doing a pretty good job. You can almost hear the pout in his ears, like, I don't want to do this. But he did really well, and I rewarded him for it. Now, this last little clip is one of the mini sessions. I only did 5 minutes at most at a time with this, where I was working on Jax having the slip lead being put on and the slip lead putting off. Now, I have him on a slip lead so that way, because you can see he like steps away from me each time, just to work on. We're gonna do on off, on off, on off. And I also do some touching with him, and you can see his whole body freeze and then relax and freeze and relax. So after a session like this, we'd go into the agility room and play on that, and he'd not completely relax, but relax much more. But this is kind of the tolerance building and things that we've been talking about and working on. Now, going into a kennel and coming out of a kennel, not a problem. My only concern for him is that if he goes into one of the play yards or goes into one of the potty yards and they take him off the slip lead, we got to get him back on a slip lead. And I don't want him to be stressed out doing that. So just kind of a heads up of some of the behind the scenes tolerance building we're working on. But it was a really good day for both boys. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you later.